How many times have you come home from an outdoor shoot with your back in pieces and a backpack weighing 10 kilos? Today I have in my hands a little product that could literally change the way you travel and shoot. This is the new Godox V1 MID, a compact flash, really compact with a round head that promises miracles in very little space. Take a quick look at the comparison with the Godox Big Brother V1. See the difference? It's not half the size, but it's almost there. Hold on everyone though, don't get too comfortable. You know me, we won't do the usual boring review. Sitting here at a table reading instruction manuals. Today we'll look at the specs in exactly 1 minute for this flash here, but then we'll grab the gear and head straight to downtown Warsaw to stress this flash live with a beautiful model, Basia, of whom I'll show some B-roll footage just to keep you here and watch the whole video. I'm clever, huh? I know, intro. What's up guys, I'm Emanuele Nasonte and I'm a professional portrait photographer. I live and work in Warsaw where I run my photography studio here. Every week I post videos with practical tips, various discussions on photography, but also small reviews that I do my way of photography products obviously, and behind the scenes of my work in the studio and beyond. Like today, in fact, we're going to shoot in a full urban environment. If you like this kind of approach, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss the next videos. Before heading out, 2 necessary disclaimers. Godox sent me this flash to test it, but the video is not sponsored by them. I'll tell you exactly what I think, pros and cons, without filters. This video instead is supported by Several, my general channel sponsor. Several is looking for partners who want to try their systems throughout the Italian territory. If you're interested in getting information, you'll find the email in the description to contact them directly, obviously with no obligation. I thank Several, as always, for supporting the channel, and let's move on with this content. Well, closing this parenthesis, let's just do a very quick check of this flash here. I'll just tell you 4 basic things, but for the full review, if you want, I'll refer you to the video made by the great Stefano Teldi that you can find up here in the cards. He lists all the features of this flash there with his great calmness, with his composure, so you'll find all the info there, let's say important ones. As for this flash though, in that specific review, he didn't really test the flash at all. And we're going to do that ourselves basically, so as promised, just a minute. What do we have here? We've got power and weight. First, let's talk about 55 watt seconds, which is basically about 20 less than this one, because I think this one has 76, the V1 standard. And it has a body that weighs just over 400 grams with the battery included. It's light as a feather. Then the interface. Finally, we have a color touchscreen display. Let me turn it on for you. It's really beautiful. It's responsive and readable in the sun. We can say goodbye to those rubbery buttons you usually find on these kinds of flashes. And then there's one thing to say, the battery is a game changer. Obviously, it's a slightly smaller battery than the others at 2200 milliampere hours. But the real kicker is right here. Look down here. I'll do a close-up later, maybe. It has built-in USB-C. You can charge it with your phone cable or a power bank. So it's the end of the era of carrying proprietary chargers in your bag for every single flash. This one has its own, the AD200 has its own, the AD600 has its own. Finally, Godox is putting these USB-C ports on their latest flashes, so we don't need to carry around all these different chargers, one for every single flash. Then what else? Oh, the round head is magnetic. So if you have any modifiers with a magnetic quick mount, you're all set. The only thing is, when I go to close it, see, if I push the battery, it doesn't have a battery latch, which is something I'm a bit disappointed about in that regard. You actually have to hold the battery in with your finger while you close the door, because the battery doesn't just click into place and then you close the door. It's a minor detail, but it could have been designed a bit better when it comes to the battery compartment. Other than that, it looks great on paper, but photography is about light, not spec sheets. So please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Today's magic word is V1 MID. I'll put it right here for you. If you're not sure what to comment, this helps me with the YouTube algorithm to show the video to more people. All right, let's grab the bag and head downtown to take some shots. Here we are in downtown Warsaw, and as you can see, there's the Palace of Culture, the symbol of Warsaw. But we're not here to be tour guides. We have our beautiful model for today here. Basia, Anya's here too, our amazing makeup artist doing everything today. Makeup, video since she's recording, and what else do you do? I don't know. Anyway, she's here with us assisting because later we'll also use external flashes. So let's talk about today's flash, which is this SmallRig. And now I'll show you how to use it here. As you can see, we're in the shade, the sun is setting up there, so it's the ideal condition to use even a tiny flash like this. And I'll show you everything. First, we'll use it mounted on the camera, then we'll use it on a stand with a softbox and take some nice photos. Finally, we'll use it as a remote trigger, because this can also control larger flashes. Obviously, if we want to open the aperture, we need more power. We have to control a larger flash with more power. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, as I was saying, is mount the flash on the camera. It has this safety lock, and what are we going to do with it? Well, just like everyone else, we are going to use it in the usual way. That means we will use it pointed at our model, just like most people do, with the flash right on the camera. And this is a style that's quite trendy right now. It's also used for street fashion. And in this case, we're gonna take a shot with the flash, currently in manual mode. Remember, it's a touchscreen. I'll put it in TTL and let's see what it does on its own. And I'm going to calculate the exposure for the background. Let's try a shot as it is and see on the screen what happens. Okay, sure. Okay, sure. Okay. Okay. I've increased the exposure time a bit. We went down to a 60th of a second to see more of the background, and you see that the flash becomes much more natural. Sometimes there's a pole there. I don't want our model in front of it. Great. Then you see that the result is very, very natural with the flash here. Now I'll show you another trick we can do. For example, if we have the flash mounted on camera, you see that here I have a light colored wall. If I fire the flash at the wall, I give the light a direction. Please, a little bit there. So if I go ahead and take this photo just like this right now, what will happen is that our model will actually have a light more concentrated from the side, and it will be more diffused, as if there were a huge softbox. You can see it on screen too. Meanwhile, I'll show you. And it's all very natural. So these are more or less the ways we can use the flash mounted on the camera. We find a nice wall, bounce the flash, or aim it directly at the model. Why is it important that it's a small flash and it's already good enough? Because we don't need much power when the light is fading, so it's perfectly fine. A tiny flash like this, among other things, hasn't missed a beat so far. Anyway, we'll talk more about all its features later. Now we're going to mount it on a stand and take some shots. A little bit more elaborate. So now, since I want to mount it off camera, as you can see, I've detached it. We need a bracket like this, a so-called S bracket, to mount it on a stand. This doesn't come with the flash. If you go to buy it though, it's something that's quite inexpensive. I'll put all the links in the description, and now we're going to mount it. There, as you can see, it's mounted on the stand. I'll keep it in TTL. Let's see how it performs mounted on a fairly large 90 centimeter softbox in a lighting situation like this. So we're outdoors in open shade, and we're going to take this kind of photo with a larger softbox. Okay, I've brought the lightest softbox I have for the occasion, which is a bit more portable. Well, not the lightest, but this one. the LA090 from SmallRig. It's super easy to open, really. This isn't sponsored. I mean, I bought this with my own money. So we open it and it's already ready to use. Incredible. We're going to mount it and we're ready to go shoot. So we mount it on our bracket, which is Bowen's. All very easy. We've mounted the softbox, the flash on the softbox, as I showed you, and we've set it as a receiver. So now I'm going to control it with its radio trigger. And set, I can put it in manual, 1/4 and so on. Let's put it in TTL. Let's see how it behaves with TTL in these lighting conditions. From manual, I'll switch it to TTL and let's try a couple of shots. We're at f5.6, 1/40th of a second, because I want a bit of background. But let's make it a little bit darker because it's making it too bright. So I'll bring the background down a bit. Let's go with 5.6, 1/125th of a second. And let's try this shot. We have the flash at 1/8 power. So it's not even at maximum. And let's see the results on a photo like this. We're using the 50mm. See, the background is very dark, but we're already managing to get a great result. The light you see on her, it's very beautiful. Let's see again. Okay. I'm moving a bit further away. Sorry if you can't see me. Okay. So as you can see, with 1/8 power, the photos are incredibly beautiful. I mean, the light on her is very, very nice. Even with the flash at 1/8 plus 0.7, so the light on her is very good. We don't need huge flashes. Now, what happens if we wanted to take a photo like everyone wants to take it with the aperture wide open at f1.4, which everyone is obsessed with? So let's go and try it, right? Let's set the photo to f1.4, so the maximum aperture to get that huge blur, and let's decrease the flash power because we don't need it once it's that open. Let's do a quick test, okay? There's just too much light in here. So let's try setting it to 1/128th, okay? So as much as I can try with the sync speed, I can't get a photo. This is the last photo I managed to take at sync speed, 1/250th of a second. She's well lit, but the background isn't right. Absolutely not. So in this case, we need to go up and do high speed sync, which means using faster shutter speeds. To do that, I'm going to use the flash because it can also be used as a master. So I'll use the flash as a trigger and I'll trigger a bigger flash. In this case, the AD200 Pro version 2. So as I was saying, we've mounted the flash on the camera again, and now we're going to use it as a commander. So as a trigger, to trigger the AD200 that's back here. I don't know if you can see it. And so let's take a few shots by firing this and this flash up high with the help of this one as a commander, which is what used to be called a master. So let's take a few shots. Okay, from here in the center, we're signing off. Anya says hi from behind the camera. Basia says hi too. She's here but has to go. She's in a rush, so we did everything in a hurry, but I hope you found this content useful. We'll see you in the studio in a bit because I'll give you the final details. Bye from Central Warsaw. See you soon. And we're back here in the studio. Well, let's wrap things up. First, let's talk about the price. This flash costs about 180 to 185 euros. Is it worth it? Okay, if you're looking for extreme portability, see how small it is, and also the usability of an amazing touchscreen, among other things. And also the charging via USB-C, which shouldn't be underestimated, then absolutely yes. You just need to be aware of the physiological limit of 55 watts compared to, for example, a standard V1 or an AD200 Pro that we saw on location. Rightly so, it's not the flash to overpower the July sun, but for light on location portraiture as we've seen, so at sunset, light portraiture, events, and evening light balancing. Rightly so, there's no problem at all. It's really a little gem to always keep in your backpack. In fact, I'm telling you, it's officially joining my arsenal, and I'll be using it very, very often for when I go and do these outdoor shots that are so light, everything very light. Or for events on location, it works really great. Among other things, it can control other flashes. I set up this one, I set up that one, I even set up another one. So it controls them all, and we can do really many interesting things on location, rightly so, for evening interiors. You'll find the link to this flash in the description. Rightly so, if you buy it through there, you'll be giving the channel a big hand. You'll also find the link for the S2 bracket we saw. And also the softbox I used to take the shots, because I know you'll ask me later, oh, what did you use? Oh, I want to know. So I'm putting everything down here in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think and if you already use the Godox V1 series. I have 2 of these V1 flashes now, thanks to Godox, who also sent me this one here. Let me know also if you enjoy these more practical videos, because they involve a lot of work, as you've seen. Not just from me, but also, for example, from the model who participated, the makeup artist, who, poor thing, did makeup for 2 hours and then assisted us. She even acted as a video maker. So your feedback is essential to know whether to continue on this path. Obviously, if you like this field review, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye!